Good
Hello,
afternoon, ma'am.
good afternoon. How are you?
Ma'am, I'm fine.
That's good, great. Let me know if you find any doubt.
No, ma'am.
So far, we finished with laws of inheritance.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, over there. If you find any doubt, please let me know.
No, ma'am. None so far.
Okay, things are clear.
Yes, ma'am. Clear.
Hope you try those monohybrid and dihybrid cross.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's really good. Just give me a minute. Yes, so in this chapter, heredity, right? So let me give you the syllabus. So that's heredity, about the heredity only. Then second thing is Mendel's Mendel's contribution, how Mendel contribute about his experiment and laws of inheritance. Right? And then the third thing is sex determination. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Brief introduction. So this is the latest syllabus. Right? So we have to cover with all these things. Right? So so far we finished with laws. Okay, let me know. The ratio means how can we differentiate monohybrid and dihybrid cross?
Ma'am, in monohybrid cross,
Hmm.
only a single property, that is a single set of genes,
Hmm.
is taken.
Hmm.
However, in dihybrid cross,
Hmm.
two properties, that is two sets of genes, are taken
Hmm.
and observed.
Two different characteristics are studied simultaneously, while in monohybrid only the inheritance of one character is studied.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Yeah, correct.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Okay. And the ratio? 1 point. We can consider 1 point as the ratio difference also. So
Yes,
in
ma'am.
monohybrid cross, the F2 ratio is 3 is to 1, while in dihybrid cross it is 9 is to 3 is to 3 is to 1. Over here we
Mhm.
are talking about only phenotypic ratio. We're not talking about
Yes, ma'am.
genotypic ratio because genotypic ratio is really very great. It's like in a big form, right? So we'll
Yes,
not do
ma'am.
that. Okay. Now, the next thing over here, which is there in our syllabus, is acquired and inherited characters. Let me start with this, right? So over here, if you find some characteristics, right, like this is what we call the shape of your hairs on your forehead, right? This is
Yes,
like a
ma'am.
round shape. This is just like a V shape, right? And then this is the shape of your lips and tongues, shape of your fingers, right? Okay,
Yes,
earlobes,
ma'am.
some are free, other are attached, set of your teeth. All these things are either acquired or inherited. Just to understand these two words, let me discuss acquired. What exactly word acquired state to us?
Ma'am, that was not present. That is not present in our genes,
Very
and
good.
which we inherit from our parents.
Parents. Okay. So these
And
definitely the changes in non-reproductive tissues because of which these are not passed to the next generation,
yes,
as
ma'am.
the changes which are there in your germ cells called reproductive cells, only those changes are heritable or transmittable, right?
Yes,
So therefore, the experiences of an individual during their lifetime cannot be passed on its progeny and cannot direct to any role in evaluation, right? So evolution never involved acquired trait. While on the other hand, inherited traits are those which are inherent
ma'am,
from.
which
Mhm.
ma'am, which we learn during our lifetime and which we do not get from our parents.
Right. So for which a
Several
different set of
skills.
DNA is present, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Ever you heard about DNA coding?
DNA. Yes, ma'am.
DNA
I've
coding.
just uh, not really, ma'am.
Okay, no issue. It is during the process of crossover. So when chromosome or set of chromosome cross over each other during the formation of cell division, then only these DNA sets also cross over one another, right? And at that time,
Yes,
they
ma'am.
definitely develop a particular sequence of DNA which will decide which characters will be dominant or recessive in next F1 or F2 generation.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? Suppose if the weight of beetle is reduced because of starvation, that will not change the DNA of a germ cell. Therefore, low weight is not a trait that can be inherited by the progeny of a starving beetle. Therefore, even if some generation of beetles are low in weight because of starvation, that is not an example of evolution since the change is not inherited over generation. While in human trait includes such things like color of a person hairs, skin, eyes, blood group, shape of nose and lips, tendency to be short-sighted or to become bald. All are the inherited characters. So definitely we have certain set of chromosomes in our DNA, right?
Yes,
So
ma'am.
I hope you heard about by with the help of DNA we can trace the
Yes, ma'am.
parents of children, right?
Yes, ma'am.
How it's possible?
Ma'am, we have ma'am, since we carry on some amount of our fathers and our mothers
Mm,
gene,
mm,
so it can be scientifically be possible to
mm.
trace.
Definitely, it
Uh,
is possible scientifically only because these traits are there in our DNA sequence, right? So those
yes, ma'am.
sequences are definitely derived from our parent sequence only. That's why they resemble somehow with them. Due
Yes,
to which
ma'am.
it's really very easy to find out the parents. Sometimes parents deny that भैया ये हमारा बच्चा नहीं है. But we can challenge with the help of DNA test,
Yes, ma'am.
right? So these are the things. Now, how to define gene? Gene, which is really a very common term used in this chapter, heredity.
Yes, ma'am.
What is gene?
Ma'am, gene is a character.
Very
It is
good.
a characteristic.
Very good. It is a character which is present in each cell of an individual, determining a special character like your shape of eyes, color of eyes, hair, skin, anything, right?
Yes, ma'am.
That's really good. So, one more thing for acquired traits. If the tails of mice are removed by surgery in each generation, these tailless mice will not have tailless progeny because removal of tail cannot change the gene of the germ cells of the mice. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
And one thing more, in one of the cross, they just try to study the inheritance of sickle cell anemia in man. So, hope you heard about sickle cell anemia.
No, ma'am.
Okay, so sickle cell anemia is a disease in which your round circular RBCs become sickle shaped. Sickle is like this. This is
Okay,
a
ma'am.
device used in harvesting also, no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so they become sickle in shape. So hope if your progeny is carrier of this sickle cell anemia, then definitely it will pass to its progeny, right? In its recessive mode, definitely it failed to express itself. But if it is in some homozygous condition, so definitely the sickle cell anemia will express itself. So it means these types of diseases are expressive only in homozygous condition, although
Okay,
it
ma'am.
is hereditary. Okay. So that will be an inherited trait. So heterozygote or carrier shows the signs of mild anemia, while the pure homozygous individual will show this whole disease in a form of dominant disease. Okay?
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. So with the help of these crosses, we can easily study their heredity, their variation, their passing, how these are passing. Sometime we are really talking about polygenic inheritance, in which we are not talking about just one, two, or three traits. We are talking about multiple traits, right?
Okay, ma'am.
So that's why, means ki with the help of this heredity only we can talk about qualitative as well as quantitative transmission of characters from one generation to another. Any doubt?
Okay, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Okay. Try to find
Ma'am,
some.
ma'am, I
Yes.
had one. Ma'am,
Uh-huh.
how will we define a chromosome and a DNA?
Okay. So wait, chromosome are just the strands, right? Chromosomes are just the strands which are found in the, where chromosomes are found within?
Ma'am, DNA as a part of DNA.
In nucleus, right? So hope you heard
Okay.
about the structure of nucleus. In nucleus there are a nuclear envelope around the nucleus, which is definitely a
Yes, ma'am.
porous structure,
Yes, ma'am.
right, in which thread like structures are suspended, and these thread like structures definitely bear some genes on it, and genes are heritable. Okay, so they carry the characters from one generation to another,
Okay, ma'am.
right? So
Okay, ma'am.
let me write here chromosomes.
So, ma'am, what does DNA has a play in the reproduction?
Wait, let me define this first.
Okay.
A thread like structure of nucleic acid and proteins, as chromosomes made up of nucleic acid and proteins only. Found? Where these are found?
In the nucleus of cell.
Nucleus of a cell carry genes on it, right? Suppose these are the like thread like structures, okay, in the form of spindles also. These are what we call
Ma'am, genes.
genes, exactly. Now, with the same in means in same term, can we define DNA?
Yes, ma'am.
So DNA
Ma'am,
is what?
I have, ma'am, I have doubt in
Hmm.
DNA.
Hmm. What doubt?
Ma'am, like I don't know, ma'am. Does is chromosome a part of DNA or are they independent?
Nee, chromosome carry DNA. Bete. DNA is a fragment. It is a whole molecule. DNA is nothing, but it is a molecule that contain some coded messages are there
Okay, ma'am.
that
So,
contain the instructions of an organism.
ma'am, is it visible like genes?
Ah, needs to develop life and reproduction.
Okay, ma'am. So we can call it as a
Ah,
data
right. It
for
is a data
data.
which is present in every bit of cell,
Okay,
right?
ma'am. Thank you.
So
Okay,
segments
ma'am.
of DNA means DNA composed of nucleotides, and each nucleotides contain three things. One is your phosphate group, another is your sugar group, and the third thing is your nitrogen base. So there are four type of nitrogen base: adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. And there is a order in which these nitrogen bases are attached with each other. Hope you heard about double helix structures.
No, ma'am.
So suppose if you just mingle we can say that two ropes with each other, na? So
Yes, ma'am.
cross करोगे, तो that is just what we call double helix structures,
Okay, ma'am.
right? And it carry all the biological information and discovered by Watson and Crick. Those were awarded with Nobel Prize in medicine. Bete.
Okay, ma'am. So,
Okay.
ma'am, do we learn about this all in
DNA
11th?
structure is not there in our syllabus. No, not at all. Not at all.
Ma'am, I'm talking about after 10th, in 11th
After
and 10th.
10th, yes, in 11th, there is a means detailed structure of DNA definition, how to elaborate the things, how these four nitrogenous bases attach with each other, and how these are responsible for generating the traits, and how these are responsible for deciding rather the trait will be dominant or recessive.
All right, ma'am.
Right, so there are two genetic materials in viruses. That genetic material is RNA, ribonucleic acid, while in all the living form it is DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other query?
No, ma'am.
Although your questions are really very interesting, you may ask, right? No issue. Okay, now how to differentiate acquired trait and inherited trait? Yes, beta.
Ma'am, which we
Mm-hmm.
develop in ourselves
Very good.
during our lifetime,
Correct.
which are not present in our genes or passed on from our parents.
Mm-hmm.
And ma'am, for and it will be vice versa for inherited
Of an individual, while inherited are
traits which are
the traits that are
passed.
obtained from the parents, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. These are, I just want to discuss this word, somatic variation. Means these are the variation which are recorded in non-reproducing cells, while inherited are
Ma'am,
genetic
recorded
variation.
in the reproductive.
Reproductive cells, which tend to reproduce itself. Because of those
Okay.
only the character will transmit from one generation to another.
Ma'am,
While
is there any
somatic,
way?
uh
Ma'am, is there any way that somatic variations be acquired by the reproductive cells?
no, no, not at all. Not at all.
Okay, ma'am.
Hope you heard about कि भैया one girl want to change her sex to a male.
Yes,
Have you
ma'am.
heard about all
I
this?
have.
Yes. So
Yes, ma'am.
in that transfusion of male into female or female into male, so several somatic variations are there. Several, right? Which can be there with the help of many scientific technologies only. Only then it can bear the male hormones. Right,
All
suppose if
right,
the
ma'am.
conversion is from female to male, then male hormones must be means must be added with the help of the somatic variations only.
All right, ma'am.
Okay, because these will not transmit to the next generation, while genetic variations are
Okay, ma'am.
transmitted to the next generation. Any other point of difference?
No, ma'am.
Only.
Ma'am, I think so. We can give examples now.
Example never include in point with.
Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am, I cannot think of any other point.
Oh, okay. So we, although we can mention some examples also, but not as a point, huh? Never as a
All
point.
right.
Hmm. Never as a point. I just want to add few more points. So this is no change in genes or DNA is involved, while over here we can mention occur due to a change in gene or DNA, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, that's it. For example,
Ma'am, skills like swimming.
we can say muscular body of a wrestler, swimming, as you said, knowledge of computer or any language, Java, Oracle, right? And inherited are fused
Color
or
of eye, hair.
free earlobes, color of eyes, hair, skin, correct. Good. Right. Then next is what? Basic
Uh,
concept of evolution is there.
no, ma'am.
Okay, then
Ma'am,
sex
it's only to.
determination.
Yes, ma'am.
But here in one of my book it is given that based on above analysis it can be concluded that important topic from exam point of view are Mendel crosses and result, evolution and its evidences, homologous and analogous structure, definition, example, and sex determination.
Ma'am, but that book is not influenced by the new syllabus,
No,
right?
no, it's influenced by the new. It's latest. It's latest one.
Okay, ma'am.
This is just January 2021.
Ma'am, I think so. We should first finish the topic, which we know is going to come, and then we can cross check, and I'll tell you, ma'am.
Okay, sure, no issue. Okay, then let me go with the topic determination of sex of a child. But before that, I just want to share there are two types of cells. One are germ cells, and another are somatic cells. Germ cells are
Ma'am,
reproducing
productive,
cells, while somatic cells are
non-reproductive.
non reproducing cells. That's why information in this is inherited, while these are only by
Acquired.
right. Then next. So before starting with determination of a sex of a child, let me know the set of chromosomes which are present in male and female. Hope you heard about there are different numbers of chromosomes which are present in male and female, bete.
Yes, ma'am.
Those are how many
Ma'am,
set of chromosomes are there in males and females?
ma'am, 23.
23. Okay. So it means total 46 chromosomes are there,
Yes, ma'am.
and those 46 chromosomes, then those have further means total 23 chromosomes pairs are there in human beings, which are divided as 22 plus 1,
One.
right? So
Yes, ma'am.
22 are
Ma'am, the general inherited traits, like eyes, like color of eyes and etc. While the one is the sex
this is
chromosome.
called sex chromosomes, while these are known as autosomes. Autosomes are responsible for characters other than sex, while this
Yes,
is
ma'am.
responsible for only sex,
It's dissemination.
right? Generally, only two sex, male and
Female.
female. Male having
X,
XY,
Y, and X.
female having XX. Is there any other sex?
Mm,
Ever
ma'am,
heard
there
about
may be, but
super males and super females?
no, ma'am.
Transgenders?
Yes, ma'am. I have heard about.
Yes. So how these super males and females are? So suppose XXY or triple X. How
So,
this
ma'am,
possible?
what changes are there? How are they different?
In super males, some characteristics of males and other of female. In super females, some characteristics of male and other of female. So that's why these are broadly known as transgenders.
So, ma'am, are they, ma'am? So, super male is born as a male itself, right? Or
Huh. And super females are born as female itself, but still have some characteristics of males like beard.
okay, ma'am.
And this is due to non-separation of chromosome during cell division. So sometime what happen, both that X will come together and fuse an egg, or both XY come together and fuse an egg.
Okay, ma'am.
That's how the things happens. And super male and females are produced. No
So,
one
ma'am,
can control this stage. No one can control this stage.
it basically depends upon the male gametes,
It's depend
right?
upon the crossing over phenomenons.
Ma'am, since ma'am, the female egg will give only the X chromosome.
Hmm.
Uh, so the passing of both X, Y, and both X will depend on male itself, right?
Male itself, okay, okay. Yeah, continue, please. After then only I will explain this.
Yes, ma'am. Like you said, that
Hmm.
super male and super females.
Hmm.
So, ma'am, in super males, whole of the XY is carried on. So,
Hmm.
ma'am, are they carried on by the sperm cells or the egg?
Wait. There is one stage called gamete separation. In each and every
Yes, ma'am.
process, the first step is gamete separation. So
Yes,
suppose
ma'am.
during the crossing over, this XY is as a whole, and here nothing, right? While this
Yes,
XX
ma'am.
gets segregated like this. In that case, what will happen when XY fused with X?
XXY.
This also gives you XXY. And opposite to this, suppose if this is XY and this is as XX, in that case, bete, it will either give you triple X
Yes,
or
ma'am.
it will give you
XXY.
XXY, which are super males,
Got it, ma'am.
right? That's how the things happens. So this all depend upon the conditions during crossing over.
So, ma'am, is it a disease or something which does not allow the gamete to separate?
This is something happened during the crossing over. This is due to some particular hormones also.
Okay, ma'am.
Sometimes the secretion of hormone is not proper, due to which these hormone imbalances will create. Right?
Okay,
And
ma'am.
moreover, we can't control this. We can't keep a check on this. Moreover, it's really
Okay, ma'am.
very impossible to find. Otherwise, don't you think so? Ki if there is any way to check out rather the transgender child is there, so I think most of the parents want to abort that type of baby,
Okay, ma'am.
right? But means ki there is nothing. So okay, so this is really very unpredictable.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay,
Got it.
yes. So bete in male and female. In male, can we write like 44 plus xy
Yes, ma'am.
and 44 plus
Excellent.
xx? These are parents. Second step is gametes. So it will separate out as 22 plus x,
And
22
22
plus
plus y.
y. And this will
22 plus x and 22 plus x.
22 plus x. So this is same as that of your monohybrid cross. So F1 or progeny will be
44 plus xx. 44 plus xx. 44 plus xy and 44 plus xy.
so these two are baby girl, these two are
Baby boy.
baby boy. So over here the option is 50% is to 50%, or we can write 2 ratio 2, which further
That
can
is
be
1 to
simplified as 1 is to 1.
1.
It means there is a probability of being a baby girl and being a baby boy is 50-50%.
Okay, ma'am.
It means no one is responsible for deciding the sex of a unborn child. This is just a chance of meeting over or crossing over of those chromosome pairs. Ki how those chromosomes, how those two chromosome XY or XX segregated apart during the time of crossing over. So crossing over is a mechanism during which the different chromosome arrange themselves in a new pattern, right?
Okay, ma'am.
And then all that cell divisions and all those process will take place and hence will decide the sex of a baby. This is how we can determine the sex of a child. Okay,
Okay, ma'am.
or simply how to write this. So it definitely depend upon that which fuses. If X of sperm fuse X of egg, then female child. And opposite to this, if Y of sperm fuse X of egg, then male child. So it means it totally depend on the type of sperm which fuses the egg,
Okay, ma'am.
right? So this is
Yes,
how
ma'am.
we can show the cross with the help of which we can determine the sex of an individual, because human female is homozygous, right?
Yes, ma'am.
while male is
Heterozygous.
heterozygous. Hope this point is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
That's good. Now it's clear these are sex chromosome and these are autosomes which are responsible for other characteristics.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yes,
I had a doubt.
please
Ma'am, in the
ask.
book it is mentioned,
Hmm.
but it is written, but
Hmm.
men have a mismatched pair in which one is a normal sized X while the other is a short one called Y. Ma'am, what do they mean by normal size and
Means
short
ki the
one?
size of X is bigger than the size of Y chromosome. Definitely, these chromosomes are of different size. So this is really very elaborative in itself. There are so many types of chromosome. There are so many types of their aggregation and segregation, right? So when they cross over, sometime the knots are like just near their ends, like this. Sometime it is just in the middle, right? Sometime the upper arms are lengthy than the lower arms. Okay, so there are
Okay, ma'am.
so many things which are there which can decide or which can control all these formation.
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
so they just want to talk about their strands. So either one strand is long, another strand is short. Okay, so X chromosome is longer while Y chromosome is shorter.
Okay, ma'am.
That's what they actually want, decide, right? So look, now this is your X chromosome, right? Like this. This is your X chromosome, while this is your Y chromosome. Okay,
Okay, ma'am. Got it.
so when male bones na, so the chromosome set is like this. On the other hand, when female bones, the set is like this. Both are longer.
Okay, ma'am.
This is your XX, while this is your XY. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
Any doubt?
No, ma'am.
Good. So this is how sex chromosomes and autosomes sometimes. Autosomes are those which carry genes for body characters and general physiology. Right? And autosomes are represented by letter A, while sex chromosomes are represented by letter X, Y, Z, W. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
Hmm. So as I told you about, I think you can easily understand this X, X, Y. So what is that
Yes,
X,
ma'am.
X, Y? It means there are 47 chromosomes instead of 46, because 44 are general and 3 are these, which equal to 47.
47.
Right? So these are also known as sterile males. Sterile, hope you know,
Uh, ma'am, not, ma'am, I don't know, ma'am.
which have no power
What
of
means that?
fertility.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? They have very limited intelligence.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? On the other hand, if this is some males are with triple X, so these have extra X due to non-disjunction of X chromosome की वजह segregate नहीं हुआ due to this only. Okay, so just by
Okay, ma'am.
studying the what we can say that chromosome pattern, it is really very easy to identify. Similarly, there are females with extra X chromosome. They are definitely showing abnormal development of gonads and sometimes mental retardation also. Right?
Okay, ma'am.
So it depends upon how many numbers of chromosomes are there. Sometimes 5x, 3x, 4x. Okay? So
Okay,
these
ma'am.
are definitely named known by different name, right? Yes. Any question?
No, ma'am. No questions.
Okay.
So,
As
ma'am,
XXY is also known as Klinefelter's syndrome, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, Vijay.
So, ma'am, after the end of this chapter,
Hmm.
uh, can we take up the life processes chapter?
Ah, sure, sure. Why not? Sure. Okay. Right. Then next is we'll do that homologous and analogous organ.
All right, ma'am.
Hmm. What exactly the term homologous indicate?
Something to be same.
Homo means same, है ना? And
Yes, ma'am.
analogous means
Ma'am, I haven't read that topic yet.
okay. No issue. It's there in origin. Wait, let me check it once. As I'm also not well sure about this. It's there or not. But although it's given in new sample paper, so that's why I just get confused with the topic. We'll just discuss it. Actually, I just want to give you very brief things, not very large things, right? So that's why I just try to find. Yes. Homologous organ. These are the things which provide us certain evidences of evolution, right? So, homologous organs are those organs which are adapted to perform different functions, although having same structure. That's why called homo, right? While analogous are adapted to perform
Single function.
same function, similar function. They have different appearance, while analogous have similar appearance. Why? Because they have same basic exhibit divergent evolution. Hope you heard about divergent and convergent lens and mirror.
Yes, ma'am.
Same word here. While analogous belong to convergent evolutions. For example, with the help of this, you can easily compare forelimbs of vertebrate. After this, we'll share some questions related to this chapter, right? Through that WhatsApp group. While in analogous, you can compare wings of bat, bird, and insects. All are meant to fly. Fins of fish, reptiles, whales, all are meant to swim. That's why these are analogous, right? Analogous have different structure but same function, while homologous have same structure but different functions as the limbs. How limbs are homologous, beta?
Ma'am, since they perform the same function and uh,
Forelimbs of whales help to means act as flippers. No, these are
yes, ma'am.
different.
Ma'am, actually, I am very confused since I am
Hmm.
learning about this topic for the first time.
Oh, no issue, no issue, no issue. Forelimbs of whales beta act as flippers, right? And on the other hand, forelimbs of bats will act as wings, right? So forelimbs of whales are meant for swimming, while forelimbs of birds which are modified into wings are meant for flying.
Flying.
And forelimbs of man, bete, it's easy. You can easily access.
For performing various functions
Grasping,
such
है
as,
ना? हाँ,
yes,
right.
ma'am, picking up things or
Walking,
load.
हाँ,
Yes,
correct.
ma'am.
Jumping, right. So means the functions of forelimbs in these all are entirely different, and even externally these are different in their appearance. But although these are constructed on the same pattern, all are pentadactyl, all have 5 digit. Penta means 5, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So homology can be traced in the structure of skull and brain also, bete. Right. So these structural organizations provides a convincing evidence for the concept of evolution. So from here only, so suppose when we study homologous organ, then definitely it indicates that homologous organs are found in the form which have evolved from some common ancestor, but due to their different adaptations, due to their different habitat to which they had migrated, they opt for different purpose. Like whales opted for swimming, right? And
Yes,
birds
ma'am.
opted for flying, man
Flying.
opted for walking, right? Similarly, don't you think so? Mouth is also a homologous organ, bete?
Yes, ma'am.
Right? As somebody use mouth for biting,
Ma'am.
chewing, somebody use it for pitching, somebody use it for sucking. Don't you think so? In all,
Yes,
mouth is
ma'am.
same. Structurally it is same, but used for different purpose. Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So in human beings, it is meant for biting and chewing. In mosquito, it is for
Mhm.
pitching. And in housefly, it is for sucking.
Okay, ma'am.
Hope this helped you to understand the homologous organs.
Yes, ma'am.
There are few more definitions or few more things with the help of which you can easily understand. So, hope you heard about thorns, tendrils. Ever heard about these structures in plants?
Yes, ma'am. I have one.
Ah, so these are what? These are definitely modified branches. Thorns in like bougainvillea, right? Tendrils
Yes,
in
ma'am.
like your pisum sativa. Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
So this is all about your homologous organ. On the other hand, analogous organ, although different in structure but performing the same function. Hope you know the wings of butterfly. देखा तो होगा है ना butterfly.
Yes, ma'am.
Wings of butterfly, bird, bat. Don't you think so? All are different,
Yes,
but
ma'am.
their function is same.
Same.
Function is flight only, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So in bats, these are just like the folds of skin, right? In insect, these are really very small as compared to the size of body,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
Yeah. Similarly, the shape of fish and bird is definitely what we call streamlined, but they are adapted for different habitat, for aquatic existence. So, in this way, the functional similarities leading to morphologically similarities. That is what we call analogy. So, analogy indicates that distantly, although these are not related to each other, so these species are totally unrelated, and but they develop similar adaptations for living in the same habitat. That's why the analogy is evolved from convergent evolution.
Okay, ma'am.
Any other doubt?
No doubt, ma'am.
That's good, great. And just one more thing. After this chapter is finished. We finished with this whole chapter, right? Vestigial organs. Wow, wow, wow. What are vestigial organs?
Ma'am.
Ever heard
I
about
don't.
vestigial organ?
No, ma'am.
Vestigial organs are those organs which are present in our body but have no function. Simply non functional organs of our body. Those are, ever heard about appendix?
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm. Ear muscles to move pinna, right?
Yes,
There are
ma'am.
certain abdominal muscles.
Ma'am, but doesn't
Hair
appendix,
fought. Yes, but
doesn't appendix release some hormones?
it is now non-functional organ because the ancient man na, who was just in the habit of eating raw food, raw
Yes, ma'am.
flesh, right? To digest raw food means in raw plant meals more cellulose is present. So to digest that cellulose, a particular enzyme is there, which is definitely secreted by appendix only. So appendix means appendix help to digest that particular cellulose, which is present in plants, in raw plants.
So, ma'am, it still functions, or we do not let it function?
No, no, no. Means due to different adaptation, now these are vestigial. No function of these organs in our body,
Okay, ma'am.
right? So 90 such structures are present in our body. Nictitating membrane, which is there in our eyes, it's very reduced. It is there in the form of triangles, right? Ear
Okay, ma'am.
muscles, which help to move pinna, pointed canines, wisdom teeth, or mammy in males. caudal vertebrae, right? So these are some organs which are vestigial now in man. Okay. So vestigial organs are definitely functional in our ancestor, but due to change in our habits, there were no more requirement or no more needed by the organism, because of which they gradually reduce to their function and hence become vestigial.
Okay, ma'am.
Right? Like your tailbone. Ever heard about tailbone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So that is now vestigial.
So, ma'am, it was used when we used to have tails.
Ah, right. So
Okay,
in
ma'am.
old habitat, the men were used to live on the tree, right? Climb on the tree. So over there, just to create a balance, just to maintain that balance, tail is required. But due to change in their habitat, now there is no means no requirement of those organ, because of which they reduce to vestiges. This is the only means reason.
Okay,
Okay.
ma'am.
Yes. So far we finish with cross, mono and di, laws of inheritance, laws of dominance, segregation and independent assortment, then acquired and inherited trait, homologous and analogous organ, vestigial organ, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Three laws are laws of dominance and recessiveness,
Laws of
independent assortment,
segregation.
and law of segregation. Definitely, segregation is your second law. Third is independent assortment. Crosses are di and mono. So please let me know if any doubt.
No, ma'am. No doubt.
Okay. Okay. And then the last one was sex determination, where we discuss the cross and even some anomalies, right?
Yes.
So there are few terms. You definitely go through those terms and learn those scientific terms only without changing any word. Homozygous, heterozygous, gene, allele, chromosome, DNA, right? Dominant traits,
Okay.
recessive traits, F1 generation, and all.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah, please ask if any doubt, as only few seconds are left with us.
No, ma'am. No doubt so far.
Okay,
Uh, all my doubts are cleared.
that's
Uh,
good. So we'll soon share some questions with you, and in our next class, we'll start with life process.
okay, ma'am.
Okay?
Okay,
Okay
ma'am.
then, bacha. Bye bye. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Bye.
बाय बच्चा. यार तुम लोगों को ना बिल्कुल तमीज नहीं है, माँ बदतमीज हो. तुम्हें पता है ये रिकॉर्डेड क्लास थी? हाँ, तुझे क्या सर को नहीं पता? यानी किसी और के पास जाएगी अभी? अभी चला गया ना, अभी अभी इसलिए भाग गया ये पता है ये पिटेगा.